Welcome to my channel. I am Crafting Creature, aka Marissa, and today we're going to be embroidering a duck. It's a mallard duck. I chose a tutorial. I found a tutorial on YouTube that I'll be following and I'll be linking below. Keep in mind that if you do not like how mine looks, I promise that the tutorial actually does a good job of explaining. Don't use what I did as a test to see if the tutorial is good at explaining things, because it was very good at explaining things. The duck was my second attempt at embroidery, so yeah, if you don't like it, that is valid. But please don't let that be a reflection of the tutorial, because the tutorial was very great, so I just want to put that out there. It's linked below if you want to check it out. I did things a little differently, obviously. The only things that I changed intentionally were the colors, really, that I used. The tutorial used a more like teal blue green. I used a more like vibrant leafy kind of green, and then in the tutorial there was a bigger section of a gray or a brown, some neutral color. This was for a Christmas present, so I was kind of on a time crunch, so I really needed to keep me focused and motivated on something, and so changing colors was just an easier way for me to stay engaged in the project, especially because this is only my second embroidery project and I wanted to make sure that I didn't immediately get tired of this hobby. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you like how mine looks, great, but if you don't like how mine looks, it's not a reflection on the tutorial. So we're on the same page? We're on the same page. Okay. So here is the very long struggle of trying to get this embroidery hoop to hold the fabric. I don't know why, but every single time I can't, I don't understand how to get the embroidery hoop to stay tight on the fabric. I just can't do it, and so it continues to get loose and it starts to pucker the more you embroider on it, and I just don't know how to fix it. Anyway, so here I am, poorly drawing a duck. Yeah, you could tell the more I mess up, the more confusing the outline gets, especially in the head area. I don't know either. I can't explain it to you. And choosing all of the colors to use for the duck. As you can see, I did use up a lot more of like a leafy kind of green. And let the embroidery begin. So comfy recording in my bedroom instead of in my craft room. I can do this in my bed. But here's what I have so far. It's very pretty. I'm loving how it's turning out. This is the back. It's a mess. We don't talk about the back. I decided to use the outer line after all, because I kind of like how full the head is. It looks really flat, like it was dropped on the head as a baby, and that's not really what I'm going for. So I'm trying to be vague because the person I'm giving this to for Christmas is here. Yeah, so that's it so far. I'm gonna keep using this dark green color, and I'm gonna do this area, I think, and then I'm gonna go in with this color color. And I'm just gonna keep filling in the head until it is done. Because I think it'll be better with time-lapse. But I am loving this so far. I really like embroidery. I think it's really fun. It's very peaceful, especially after going through the whole process of like opening everything and Googling all the tools that I have, you know, all that jazz. Once you set up a hobby, it's actually pretty fun. So yeah, I'm gonna work on this some more. It is 9:30 p.m. and I started around 8, I think. So I don't know why I thought that it wouldn't take me this long to do something this big. So I'm a little nervous about my next 2 Christmas presents. But it's fine. I'll talk about the tutorial more in the intro. But just as a reminder, in case I forget or something, this is not my design. I thought for the second episode of my embroidery playlist, it would be smart to just follow a tutorial. So I am kind of loosey-goosey following it because I'm not using the colors that they are using, and also I'm a beginner. So if the person who made the tutorial, which I'll link it in the description below, if the person who made the tutorial is watching this video and they're like, wow, this is garbage compared to what I made, yeah, I'm aware. I'm following it as best as I can, okay? Okay. But yeah. Oh, and another thing is that this pen is supposed to be water dilutable. It's supposed to wash away with water. So that's why I used bright red ink, so I could see it better and you could see it better. And also, I'm not using red in any of this design, so the outlines will pop from the thread colors that I'm using. So that is the plan. And I kind of tested it on the back of this off camera, and it bled through here. But it's pretty faded on this side. So I'm kind of thinking that it'll wash away. And that was just with like a little squirt and then rub for like 2 seconds. That's all I did. So I'm pretty confident. So yeah, I'm gonna stop procrastinating and finish this. Okay? Okay. I just don't understand how to keep this taut without it coming off of the thing, because if I pull it too tight then this pops out and I don't want it to pop out. I want the wood to frame it. I don't know what I'm doing. If anybody has any tips for keeping it taut, because it's making those wrinkles and I don't want it to do that. Also, I know that my back is a mess. I don't care. I'm trying my best. It's not good, but it's what I have to offer. The tutorial is doing long and short stitch, I think is what it's called. And I'm kind of doing a mix of that with a split stitch, I think is what it's called. I don't know. The names are in the tutorial video, so watch that one after this one. So you can see what I'm doing, and then you can see what I'm trying to do. And it's not against the tutorial. The tutorial is very good for just being a video and not being a teacher right next to me being like, no, that's not correct. One thing that I've noticed is you can see, hopefully, you can see where my needle is poking. And so that has been helpful to figure out where my needle is so I can poke through without having to turn it over. Unfortunately, I don't know how, but if I'm not paying attention, then this happens and this happens. Like, the thread just gets stuck in like a really long loop. And since I did so many stitches, kind of like locked in there. So I can't just pull, I have to, you know, go through each stitch and try to unwind it a little bit, loosen it up. And I can't really do that if the stitches are like going back and forth. So with slip stitch, where you're going through your previous stitch, it's a nightmare to try to do that. Like, at that point, just take the L and accept that you have wasted a tiny amount of thread. Because, like, honestly, this amount of thread isn't that big of a deal. Just poked myself with a needle, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know why I decided that Christmas presents are gonna be using a hobby that I have literally only done once before. So I hope that these turn out good because it is December 15th at the time I'm recording this. If it doesn't turn out, it's a little too late to try to get something shipped here that they'll actually like. So I have no backup plan, which is a little stressful. Getting a little close, so my tail is getting annoying to deal with. But I do think I'm almost done with this dark green, so that's nice. Ah, dang it, I keep doing that. I like this type of threader more than the other type, because the other type is it's this plastic little handle with a wire loop inside, and you may notice that there is no wire loop in this one, and that is because every time I do this part, which I'm about to show you, every time I do, stop it, okay. Every time I do this part, where you kind of have to pull, you know, the wire comes out of the plastic part. So there's my 2 cents about threaders. I know you're really enjoying it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I think I'm about done with this. You can still see red and white through it. Where's the camera? You can still see red and white through it, but the red should disappear when I wash it. And I don't care about the white. I'm also planning to go over it with another color. I don't understand how to tighten it without making it pop out. It's so annoying. I keep trying to tighten it, then it comes loose. Yeah, see, it's as tight as I can make it now. And it comes loose again. Don't understand. I feel like it's messing with me. I'm a little concerned because the other 2 projects that I'm making, that I'm embroidering, are clothes. And I've never embroidered clothes before. I don't know why I chose this hobby to make presents with. I think that's done. Mostly because I'm tired of this color and I want to move on. But I like it though, don't get me wrong. I think it's cute. Yeah, so this part is more for shading, and then this part is because the feathers look dark in that area. So that's what I'm doing. I really hope that the person that I'm making this for didn't just hear me say that word, but it's fine. I'm pretty sure he knows what I'm making him anyway. That's the thing about homemade gifts, is you don't really want it to be a surprise, because you want to be like, hey, what color do you want this to be? What size? You know, all of those kinds of things. What kind of this specific animal do you like? You have to ask specific questions. And you want to make sure that the person who is receiving the homemade gift will actually take care of it and will appreciate it. So they kind of need to know, to be honest. Alright, I'm done with this. Mostly because I am in fact over it. How am I gonna knot this? I don't like knotting it, as exhibited by how terrible I am at it. Here are my thoughts so far. Okay. First of all, I really like it. That's adorable. Okay. I'm glad we had this talk. Second of all, it is 10 p.m. and I'm a little tired. I was working on the blanket, and then I realized that it was 1 in the morning. So doing great things with my sleep schedule. They're not healthy. See, I don't, America, explain. I just don't get this part. I just don't know how to make you not pop out. And I don't want to use super glue because this isn't the frame that I want to give to him. So I don't know, man. Here are my thoughts. I'm gonna use this as a pointer. Can you even see that? No, not really. I like it when you put stitches over other stitches so it slowly builds up, because this is pretty flat. This right here though, pretty fluffy feeling. I'm gonna try to finish the head today. We'll see how stupid that plan is, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna stop procrastinating and try to do the head. I'm struggling. Here's the thing, okay? When you first start out, if you're a beginner like I am, don't accidentally pull the tail while you're pulling your stitch out, because you will in fact do this, and then it's easy to get tangled and stuff, and it was just easier for me to take the needle off and completely remove the thread and try again. I'm gonna keep going, I guess, but I just wanted to give that little PSA because I did not realize that. So, yeah, and now my thread is a little raggedy because it started splitting and got a little knotted, and I don't know what I'm doing. So, we're doing great. Nobody panic. Also, it is way easier to see where the thread is when you haven't been embroidering. Like in this area, for example, it will not be easy to see where the needle is, but it's fine. Yeah, so I'm just gonna embroider this area and this area with this color. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, honestly. This is not a late night hobby. Like by any means. I think that's why I was getting so frustrated with the M, is because it was like midnight, and because I was in my craft room, I still had to drive home, get ready for bed, you know, all that jazz, and I wasn't really looking forward to doing that, and I really wanted to finish the project before I left so I wouldn't be in the middle of it when I got back. I had big plans for that week. I'm a busy lady. Do you guys open presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Because my family, we open presents on Christmas Eve, and that way Christmas Day can just be for dinner and Christmas service and all that jazz, and just like hanging out, pictures. And then Christmas Eve is supposed to be like the cozy present opening. I don't really know what I'm doing as exhibited. I'm glad that I can cover up my crappy sketches though. I don't know how, but the tutorial outline is so clean, and they did it in pen. I don't understand. And I'm over here like, I mean, you saw it, I did it on camera. Like, I'm like, nope, that's too big. Oh, that's too small. I don't know anymore, and it's all in pen, so I can't erase it or anything. I probably could have used a pencil. Probably could have used a pencil, but I don't know. I keep, do you guys do this when you embroider? I keep getting like flat edges, and I'm like, oh, that is too perfect. I didn't mean for it to be like a flat edge. I wanted it to be more organic looking. I've seen some embroidery backs where like it's just little dots because they used most of the thread on top, which like is very impressive. I don't think non-embroidery embroiderers, people who don't do embroidery, I don't think they realize how impressive that is, because it's very impressive. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's very impressive. Yeah, that looks good. Whatever, I don't care. We're done with this little section. It's fine. We are figuring it out, and it's gonna be great. As you can see, I went to town finishing it up. Takes forever, so I just did it off camera because I didn't feel like recording it. I'm just gonna finish up the light gray because I just want to finish that little area because I ran out of thread. Very talented. I've been so good at not underestimating how much I needed, and that was just a little off. Yeah, so 2 tips that I recommend doing is, if you're as new as I am at this, one is to use more than 1 strand. I'm sure that people use even more than 2 strands, because right now I'm using 2 strands. My back looks so ugly. I don't even care anymore. So that's tip number 1. And then tip number 2 is, which I'm not doing right now because I'm just doing touch-ups, but tip number 2 is, you see how much thread I used in the green head versus how much thread I used in the white section. I wish that I was more careful about it in a darker color so you could see it better, but I mean, you can kind of see it in the gray and the brown. But basically, I didn't use as much thread in the back. So I went from like here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here, instead of going this way. So, because in the head, I used pretty much the same amount of thread as I did on the front. But I didn't do it for the other colors. So if you're wearing it, that's nicer. And it also just uses less of the pretty thread that you have. It's so hard to do that when you're trying your best. So it's definitely something that I think I can do better on when I'm practicing more. Now I can do the light blue, which I'm very excited about. That is a terrible place for my needle, and I know that. I'm still gonna try it. Yeah, so I ordered fabric fray glue, and I ordered nicer frames. So first of all, I don't want to get rid of this tool, but also I don't really think it looks that nice to hang up anyway. So I ordered frames, and I ordered glue for this mess, and then I can cut all the threads low, because I'm honestly not sure what is secured as best as I could. First of all, what I tried to secure and what I didn't even try to secure, because it could be even worse. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I could do this blue gradient, but it kind of goes really dark, so I'm a little leaning against that. I have more colors here, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna do this one, because it's very bright and shiny, and I think it'll go well with the colors that are already here. But you could obviously do like royal blue, or you know, any kind of color really. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I can't decide if I should do double for this or if I should just do single. I'm kind of thinking single because the bird is definitely more important. You guys, I'm excited. This took less time than I thought it would, which is good. It's very good, to be fair. I worked on this for maybe 3 hours last night. I think maybe from like 8 to 11-ish, maybe 4 hours. I can't remember. I've slept since then, thankfully. See, with the single, you have to deal with the tail and making sure that the tail doesn't come out of the needle. Yeah, so anyway, I worked on this for 3 or 4 hours last night, and then probably 5 or 6 hours today, I think. I think this is called split stitch or something like that. Basically, I want it to look like one continuous line, so that's what I'm doing. Part of me is like, I should add like seaweed or cattails or something, but part of me is like, the duck was hard on its own, so I'm kind of over it. But it's fine. I think it's okay by itself. I hope it's okay by itself. That tutorial was very helpful because I honestly don't know where I would start without it. Like, I truly don't know where I would have started without it. Because the other 2 projects that I'm gonna do, they do not have tutorials. Because it's unfortunately my own design. So I'm gonna wing it on those 2, I guess. Can't wing it because of the duck. I tried to follow the coloring as best as I could. I added a lot more brown to the wings. That was more of an artistic choice. I didn't feel like embroidering a huge block of color with gray thread. I don't know if that looks dumb. If like, wow, this ripple is just, it is doing whatever it wants, is what it's doing. Duck fans might be like, mallard ducks aren't colored like that. But you know what, I had fun. It was an artistic choice. Because in the tutorial, like, most of this is gray. I think this part, this little part, is a light brown, like an almost gray brown. First of all, I get bored of doing the same thing, but second of all, I get bored of using the same color. So every once in a while, changing the color really helps like keep my motivation to finish a project. So like I said, it does use up a lot of the thread. I don't know if that really is securing it, but that's all I got right now. I'll have the glue. This is the last stitch. I'm very excited. Woohoo! All done. All that's left for me to do is test to see if the glue works when it arrives. And I need to wash it, and then I have to frame it. This is terrible knotting. I don't understand. Okay, two things I don't understand about embroidering. One is how people handle the back situation. Like, I don't really care if it looks ugly because it's back, you know? If people see it, then they deserve to know that it's ugly, you know? I'm just saying. But I just want to know how you get it to be tight. And then the other thing is how people secure the ends, because clearly I don't know how to do it. So I'm just gonna glue, wash, and then frame when the stuff arrives. I have washed the duck. All the red ink is gone, and the knot surprisingly held up, which is nice. It got really wrinkled in the washing machine, and I was a little too nervous to try to dry it in the dryer, so the frames arrived and the glue. This one I was almost excited about because I was like, that is almost like pretty much the perfect shape, and then I realized that the hanger is on this end, so that won't do. This might work. It's a little small. The beak and the water is cutting it close, but let's just see. I might have to do this off camera depending on how long this takes me. Seriously, is there a trick to doing this? This might need to be like a 3-person job. It's so slippery. Oh, I did it. Okay, it is possible. So that's exciting. Oh no! In the frame. Yeah, I don't need to iron that, but it is real difficult to try to... No! Dang it! Oh my gosh. This is the worst. I hate this so much. It's fine. It's fine. If there is a trick to this, I do not know it. I'm trying to do it so carefully so it doesn't pop out again. Guys, that looks so good. Okay, so it'll hang like this, which isn't bad, but dang it, I should. So we have to redo it anyway. We might as well try to get this thing centered. You have to grip it around and then try to hold it. And I'm pushing it down so that way it doesn't come up. Let's try this again. Yeah, I like that better. If I can just smooth out the wrinkles without the frame coming undone, I will be a happy camper. And then never take it out of the frame ever again. That looks so good. Okay, I'm glad I don't have to iron it. I unfortunately messed up the beak area, so it's a little warped in some places, but that's not bad. I think I am gonna cut it a little bit because it is kind of annoying. I'm just gonna cut like the corners because this really is like a lot of fabric to try to deal with. Now I have things to do. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna glue it. Oh, there it goes. That might be too much glue, but it's fine. I don't care. Yep, that's definitely too much glue. Oh well, I don't know what I'm doing. It's fine. If you keep saying that it's fine, it'll eventually be fine. I hope he never wants to take it out of the frame. This is the part of the show where if I were at my craft room, I would just place a huge bottle or something on top to weigh all the fabric down. And I've used 1,000,000 gallons of glue on this. I'm just gonna let it dry. But that's how it looks so far. My beautiful handiwork. And then this is so cute. And I'm very excited that I do not have to iron it. Before I show you guys the final clips of the duck, I just wanted to say thank you for watching the video. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment, ring that bell, all that jazz. And I do not post every single week, but when I do, it is on a Saturday around noon. So I will see you guys next time. Bye! Oh, and the next video that we are doing is a Christmas stocking embroidery video. So if you liked this embroidery video, chances are you'll like the next one.